as would a vadis, vadis.
Yeah, well, another explosion. But was Starship Flight Test number 9 just another failure? How did this latest test compare to the previous ones? What does the future look like for SpaceX? Is the Starship program over? Let's find out. Before we start, a quick request. I run this YouTube channel as a hobby. So, besides my job, my wife, and my 2 kids, the time I have left, I spend on SpaceX and creating content for this channel. So please click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Alright, let's dive in. Let's take a close look at how Flight 9 went. The mission launched again with a flawless liftoff. Flight 9 used Ship 35 and Booster 14. Marking the first time SpaceX reused the Super Heavy booster. The main goals: deploy Starlink test payloads, test re-entry with 100 heat shield tiles removed, and demonstrate an in-space engine restart. Here are the big wins. The rocket launched smoothly. Stage separation worked perfectly. The upper stage Starship reached space farther than ever before. And no heat shield tiles were lost on the way up. That's a huge improvement. But there were problems too. The booster exploded during its landing burn. The payload door jammed, so the Starlink simulators couldn't deploy. Then a fuel leak caused the upper stage to spin out of control about 30 minutes in. Finally, the upper stage broke apart during re-entry over the Indian Ocean. So, a mix of progress and setbacks. The flight showed real improvements during launch and ascent, but also revealed serious challenges. Payload deployment failed, and re-entry didn't go as planned. For SpaceX, this isn't failure. It's a chance to learn. Each test helps improve Starship and brings us one step closer to reliable space travel. Every flight teaches SpaceX something new and brings us closer to Mars. But is that really true? Or are we witnessing the downfall of SpaceX and the shutdown of the entire Starship program?
Silence, ye spheres! Be still, ye hurtling stars! Open wide vaulted skies above.
Is the Block 2 Starship flawed by design? Or is Starship itself a complete failure? I personally don't think so. If you look at how many attempts it took to land a Falcon 9 booster for the first time, I believe we are still on track with Starship. That said, Elon and SpaceX are under pressure. Starship is still the chosen moonlander for the Artemis missions. Elon wants to send Starships to Mars in 2026. To reach those goals, a lot still needs to be tested. Orbital refueling, controlled re-entry, and full reusability of both stages, Starship and Super Heavy. The problem after the explosions on both Super Heavy and Starship is this. Yeah, you guessed it. A thorough FAA investigation is required. Elon said the cadence of flight tests should accelerate to 1 every 3 to 4 weeks. So, flight test number 10 should happen by the end of June, right? Well, that's a bit optimistic. But if SpaceX can avoid explosions on test 10, I'm confident we'll see tests once a month. To sum up, I'm, as always, quite confident everything is running smoothly at Starbase. And with Elon officially returning from the Oval Office, he will spend more time on Tesla and, of course, SpaceX. After flight test 9, SpaceX said the following. Each test flight is designed to push the boundaries of the system. We gathered massive amounts of data, achieved key milestones like booster reuse and tile durability, and are now incorporating what we've learned into future builds. This is how you build a rocket capable of taking humans to Mars. To wrap up today's episode, let's review all previous Starship flight tests. For each flight, we'll look at the mission goal, what was achieved and what wasn't, the media reaction, SpaceX's official statement, and finally, I will give my personal Starship flight test rating. 0 meaning total disaster and 10 meaning we're going straight to Mars tomorrow. So, let's get started.
Round 1.
Flight test number 1, April 20, 2023. Objectives: demonstrate liftoff, stage separation, collect flight data. What happened? First fully integrated Starship Super Heavy launch from Starbase, Texas. Shortly after liftoff, vehicle lost control and was destroyed by the autonomous flight termination system about 4 minutes in. Results: partially met. Liftoff succeeded, stage separation failed. Media reaction: mixed. Some praised the bold attempt and data, others called it a failure. My rating: 6 out of 10. Liftoff alone was a success and we gained valuable data. The damaged launch pad, however, caused months of refurbishment.
Round 2.
Flight test number 2, November 18, 2023. Objectives: test hot staging, stage separation, upper stage performance. What happened? Successful liftoff with all 33 Raptors firing. Hot staging and stage separation succeeded. Boosters suffered multiple engine failures and exploded during boost back burn. Starship continued for over 8 minutes before being destroyed. Results: partially met. Hot staging and separation worked, booster recovery failed. Media reaction: more optimistic than test number 1, noting significant progress. My rating: 6 out of 10. Hot staging was a major achievement. Explosion was expected in testing.
Round 3.
Flight test number 3, March 14, 2024. Objectives: demonstrate orbital flight and collect re-entry data. What happened? Full duration second stage burn, reaching orbital velocity. Vehicle destroyed on re-entry. Results: mostly met. Orbital flight succeeded, re-entry failed. Media reaction: positive, highlighting orbital milestone. My rating: 7 out of 10. A big step forward. Re-entry would have been the icing on the cake.
Round 4.
Flight test number 4, June 6, 2024. Objectives: test flight systems and re-entry. What happened? Successful liftoff and separation. Starship reached space, but was destroyed during re-entry. Results: partially met. Flight systems good, re-entry failed. Media reaction: mixed. Progress noted, but re-entry issues remain. My rating: 7 out of 10. Another solid flight test despite re-entry failure. Flight test number 5, October 13, 2024. Objectives: demonstrate booster catch and controlled splashdown. What happened? Historic milestone. Super Heavy booster caught by launch tower's chopstick arms. Starship reached 212 kilometers, controlled descent and splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Results: mostly met. Booster catch successful, minor damage on Starship's splashdown. Media reaction: celebratory, calling it a breakthrough in reusable rocketry. My rating: 10 out of 10. The most successful Starship flight test so far, truly historic. Flight test number 6, November 19, 2024. Objectives: expand ship and booster capabilities, including burns and recovery. What happened? Launched booster 13 and ship 31. Mission ended early due to lost communications. Booster catch aborted. Results: partially met. Some objectives reached, booster recovery aborted. Media reaction: critical. Seeing early termination as a setback. My rating: 9 out of 10. Only the booster cache failed, overall successful.
Round 7.
Flight test number 7, February 24, 2025. Objectives: test upgrades, booster return and catch. What happened? Launched booster 14 and ship 33. Mission ended early due to propellant leak on Starship and vehicle destruction. Results: partially met. Launch successful, booster caught, mission ended early. Media reaction: reserved optimism, recognizing testing challenges. My rating: 6 out of 10. Successful booster catch, but a setback with Starship exploding. Flight test number 8, March 14, 2025. Objectives: test upgrades, booster return and catch. What happened? Launched booster 15 and ship 34. Mission ended early due to propellant leak on Starship and vehicle destruction. Results: partially met. Launch successful, mission ended early. Media reaction: reserved optimism. My rating: 5 out of 10. Third booster catch milestone, but loss of upper stage was a big setback. Flight test number 9, May 28, 2025. Objectives: test payload deployment, orbital flight, controlled re-entry, booster recovery. What happened? Launched with a reused super heavy booster. Liftoff and stage separation successful. Upper stage reached space, but lost orientation due to fuel leak, disintegrating over Indian Ocean. Booster exploded during landing burn. Results: partially met. Booster reuse and ascent succeeded. Payload deployment and re-entry failed. Media reaction: mixed reactions. Some praised progress, others focused on failures. My rating: 6 out of 10. Booster reuse was a success, but more problems may be hidden. Flight 10 should bring more insights. That's all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will let you know once we know more about the upcoming flight test number 10. Fingers crossed for SpaceX, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Ciao.
You promised to sing, or I would not be here.
I'm totally unprepared, so I must compose as I sing. Oh, oh, lambent flame. Oh, oh, force divine.